Alright, so me and my husband decided to watch Harry Potter series again. We've come to a point where we've watched all the Marvels and all that stuff, and now we're swinging back around to Harry Potter. So, of course, as we're getting better at profiling, we decided to go ahead and profile Harry Potter. And so, here we go. So we have determined that Harry Potter is an ESFJ. You can definitely see that he is that strong SF type. He does completely ruled by emotions. Every decision is emotional. And when every decision is based on emotion, you're not always going to come out correct. And you see how many mistakes he's made because everything is emotional to him. He's very in the moment on the spot because of his emotions. He's very vengeful because he's hurt. And that's one thing about an ESFJ is when they're hurt, they just want to make that other person hurt too. And that's why he doesn't want to always, why he doesn't kill Peter Pettigrew, because he wants Peter Pettigrew to suffer. Death isn't an end. Death is an end. It's like, they don't get to suffer. I mean, why have them die when they can go suffer, right? So, you can see that he's completely, and because when you see Hermione go up to him after he's crying after he was in Hogsmeade and heard them talking about Sirius Black being his godfather and everything, and he completely lashes out on her. And, I mean, she has nothing to do with it, but it's just the fact that he was so emotional. That's an adrenaline rush for an ESFJ to have that much emotion built up and then somebody say what's going on and you just, It just comes out, and it just comes out how it's going to come out, whether it's yelling, screaming, whatever. It's not really directly. A lot of people take it very personally that we yell at you, and it's not meant to be taken personal. It's an adrenaline rush. Like when you're getting an adrenaline rush, you can't help but scream. Excitement. Well, when our emotions are bottled up like that, we can't help it but to express them any other way but that way. And so that's how Harry is. He's completely ruled by these emotions. He lashes out on everybody. He makes decisions by these emotions. Thank God he's got Hermione there. She's the ST type, we figured, because she brings that logic, but she's also very sensing type. She's very sensing type. And even though perceivers are usually procrastinators, we determined that Hermione is still an ESTP, because her wanting to win over people rules out more than procrastination. And you can see that the biggest people she wants to win over is teachers. That's what matters more to her. She's a muggle who found out she's a witch, and she wins people over by being the best witch when she's muggle born. And she takes things very, very personally, like being called a mudblood. It's in the profile of the ESTP to really take things internally very harshly like that. They weather heavy-duty personal hits. So when they get a personal hit, they weather it very hard. They take it very personally. And really, I don't think Malfoy meant to hit her that hard, but she takes it that hard. Those S-types really take things that hard. She's also extroverted, so she shows it very much. So she actually cries and she shows emotions, and she's pretty out there about the fact that she's taking this in personally. Very optimistic, even when dark clouds are overhead. She's the optimist of the group. She's always she's outgoing, witty, charming, cheerful. She naturally cheers people up. Everybody, when Hermione walks into the room, shows it in Goblet of Fire, everybody lights up. Even Victor Crumb, when he put his name in the goblet, I mean, just to see Hermione sitting over there, you can see where he started to like her just by seeing her. Her presence brings cheerfulness to people. It makes them feel good about themselves. The one thing we love about Hermione is, with an ESTP, spontaneity makes them feel very alive, and she comes out with this especially when she breaks the rules, because she's a very rule-oriented person, because she wants to win people over, so she plays by the rules, she plays the game. Except for when it comes to the Order of the Phoenix. when she starts Dumbledore's army, how she feels so alive, and we can all see how Hermione's just got this rush because she's so alive. She spontaneously came up with this group, and she's just so alive. And so that's Hermione. She does it in Prisoner of Azkaban also. She's a very versatile leader. ESTPs make some of the best leaders because of how versatile they are. Well, like when we see her in Chamber of Secrets, and Harry says, hey, this is going to take a month to make Polyjuice Potion. I can't handle a month more of this going on inside of me, a month more of these attacks and watching people get attacked, and this is emotionally killing me. And this is where the F versus the T type comes in, the FJ versus the TP type, because Hermione's like, I know this is killing you. It's killing me too, but this is our best shot, and so we're going to start doing this until we find something else. But they didn't find something else, so they went with the Polyjuice Potion. But they're very versatile leaders because they change up without a problem as soon as something more logical and better comes along. But they always take that natural leadership role and step up to the game and step up to the plate and take that leadership and say, okay, we're going to do this until you find something better. But this is our best bet. And so they're very, very logical like that. Difficult to shun because they're so charming. They maintain the positive attitudes, and this is actually what kind of led me to profiling Ron. We decided to go ahead and focus on Ron after we were satisfied that we definitely knew that she was the ESTP. Because my husband thought she was an ESTJ, but that profile really did not feel like it fit Hermione at all. As I read it, I kind of felt like down about it. I'm like, no, this is not Hermione. I was really excited when I read the ESTP and said, no, this is Hermione. Ron is like the Debbie Downer of the group. He's very negative. Gives up way too easy. He stays far from the leadership role. He's far from being a leader. And that's kind of where the INFPs come into. The INFP types they're deeply sensitive. Ron portrays this when in Prisoner of Azkaban you can see Hermione needs to hide into his shoulder, and he doesn't comfort her like Harry does. You see Harry, because he's that extroverted sensing type, he empathizes. Ron sympathizes that Hermione's hurt, and you can see it in his eyes. He portrays that very well, how deeply he's hurt by this. But he's also very strong. He's what Hermione needs, because Harry collapses with Hermione. This is one thing that Hermione leans on Ron that she needs, is because he does not collapse. Because he's very strong. Because he's that I type. That's one thing that I's bring to a group, is the ability to not crumble. It doesn't just mean I don't talk. It's the ability to not crumble in situations. And so you can see that he does that. They're true blue friends. He portrays this especially out through all of Goblet of Fire. No matter how much him and Harry start fighting, he still helps Harry. He's still Harry's friend. He's still Harry's best friend. And you can see how it hurts him really bad through the whole movie. Through the first half of the movie. And so you can kind of see, able to abstain abuse beyond merits. INFPs are interesting that way because he's kind of pessimistic, kind of funny. It's kind of funny, but you can see how much abuse he merits. And actually in Prisoner of Azkaban, Ron's kind of funny because he uses that pessimistic attitude to draw out the sensitivity in Hermione. When they come out of the Whomping Willow Tree and Sirius and Harry walk off, and you can hear Ron in the background talking to Hermione. He's like, oh yeah, I nearly took off my leg, and oh, I'm so hurt. And he's got like this negative attitude of, oh, I almost died. And he's really playing up Hermione's sensitivity. She's feeding into it, and she's giving it to him. She's, oh, poor baby. So this is kind of where Ron and Hermione really start to come together, is in Prisoner of Azkaban, when their personality types finally learn how to mesh and deal with each other. How she learns how to lean on Ron, how Ron learns how to gain her sympathies, and how they kind of come together like that. So it's kind of interesting how they do that. And so I think we did a really good job on profiling them. Harry Potter is that ESFJ. He completely lives in that external SF world. He wants things done now, that J-type kind of thing. He's really just it. Each one of those characters balance each other out because Hermione brings the logic and the patience to the group, and Ron brings that loyalty to the group. I mean, he cannot stay away, even in when. And one thing about INFPs too is that they often think they're apt to think whispering and jokes are at their expense. And Ron really portrays this, especially when in the seventh movie, when he starts yelling at the Horcrux brings that out in Ron because he's very introverted, and so he doesn't really display how he really feels about Harry and Hermione being together a lot, because Harry and Hermione have that emotional connection, and you can see that when they're dancing in the tent and everything, that they have that emotional connection, but they don't have that romantic connection. They just have that very strong, because it's that empathy that brings them together. Because Hermione can crumble with Harry. She can crumble in Ron's arms, but sometimes she needs somebody to crumble with. And so she uses Harry when she needs somebody to crumble with her. And ESFJs are very good sounding boards too. And so Ron takes this very personally. And you can see how he takes it very personally. And but he's still that true blue friend, because he ended up coming back and then helping and facing the Horcrux and facing the fact that he thinks, and the Horcrux plays it off of oh no, you are nothing compared to the boy who lived, and the Horcrux plays on the fact that everybody's whispering that Harry's the great one, not Ron, and nobody wants to see the greatness in Ron, but he is really a great person, and he's the glue that holds the group together, because even though Hermione and Harry stay together while Ron's gone, they still emotionally are falling apart because Ron's gone. And he comes back, and the group is complete when he's there. They need him there. And it's kind of funny because the group can survive a little bit without Harry, but they can't survive without Ron. So, because every time Harry kind of leaves, they're true to Harry, and they stick with him through everything. And they're for the cause, but they can survive kind of without Harry, but they can't survive without Ron. They really need that, and I haven't really tested it out on Ron, but does Ron really live through rose-colored glasses? Because INFPs do, and I haven't really we're only in movie 5 yet, so I haven't really seen that come about, so, but yeah, so what do you think? Harry Potter, ESFJ, Ron, INFP, Hermione, ESTP. So, and Ron and Hermione are dualities, and you can see how these dualities clash at first, yet come together. And so it's really awesome to see that happen, and how their attitudes play off each other, and they come together in that. So, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy.